6 months. 6 months where I believe that is a lot of time. A lot of time where a lot of change can happen within those 6 months. It really is what you do in those 6 months that make it useful or not. But yeah, within those 6 months, it's what you do in that time that really does reflect on how good those 6 months were, or how bad those 6 months were. If I were to look at myself before I was locked in for 6 months, I would see myself as depressed, who was still in high school, who was still with those friends that were so called his friends, that he thought they were, who was, after he graduated high school, working this job he hated, having to show up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, which was draining him so much, made his life even worse. I was not happy with the way I looked, especially in high school. I was so insecure about myself, being skinny fat, being so insecure wearing my own skin. It got so bad growing up in high school. I never did anything about it. It made me look back and realize that nothing changed because I didn't do anything. I didn't change, and all that time had just gone by, and I was still in the exact same position I was many years ago, still playing video games. Maybe you're in this position right now where you're depressed, you probably hate your life, and you're not sure what you want to do about it. And coming from me, myself, I'm not this guru, I'm not experienced or anything, but I just locked in. I just cut off all distractions, deleted all those useless apps, stopped playing video games. I think you should just lock in. And I'm not trying to be some kind of like David Goggins kind of guy, some expert, some guru, I'm not. But I think locking in can really just change your life within the span of a couple months. It doesn't have to be 6 months, but just cutting all those distractions off, just fully just isolating yourself. Not in a bad way, but just getting out of those situations, not being around those people that were bringing you down in the first place, that were holding you back, which really did help me because I remember being with those friends that I thought were my friends in high school. It really did change me because I was always with them. I went to the graduation parties. I quit my job. I didn't show up that job just to go to a graduation party in 2024 of the summer graduating. And I look back at that as like, why did I do that? Because I lost my job. I didn't lose my job. I quit my job. I didn't say anything about it. Just to go to a graduation party that really meant nothing. That really gained me nothing in the first place. Just for temporary fun and pleasure. I was just in my own reality, trying to just escape the life I have, just to have fun, just to do some pointless pleasure at the time. Because it actually gained me nothing. It wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. Perhaps you got to go through a season like this. You're probably still young, maybe younger than me, because I'm 19 years old at the moment. I'm still trying to figure out my life myself, and it's not easy, I tell you that. But I can tell you, if you lock in, it really can change the next however many months there are in your life. And I can reassure you on that because it really did change my life. And I'm 19 at the moment, so when I was 18, I was lost, no direction. I just didn't know what I was doing. I'm still lost to this day, but I have some kind of thought in my mind, some kind of direction, some path I want to take. And that just made me want to devote myself to this path and just go even further and know that I'm going to make it through this path. Ever since I started locking in, as soon as I sold my Switch 2, almost 1 year ago, which is crazy, 1 year ago, I almost sold that, I just started to go hard in self-improvement. I started going to the gym 3-4 times a week, maybe 5 times a week. I started eating healthy, started to cut off all the junk food I was so used to indulging in. I stopped talking to those friends, unfollowed them on Instagram and other socials. I just had to isolate myself. I was still working this job I hated. I really just didn't know what to do, but I felt like I had to just go through it, just deal with it, because it's either going to be, you're going to have to deal with it one way or the other. It's either going to have to be still stuck in the same position you're in, or you're just going to have to go through some uncomfortable change. And all I know is uncomfortable change is really the best way to grow, because I think we got to be uncomfortable just to grow and change within our lives. I look at this as a reflection coming back now, almost even a year later. It's like so much can happen within a short amount of time, and you don't realize that. You always look at like an overnight success or an overnight change, but it really doesn't take place overnight. It only happens when you least expect it. And I wasn't even expecting to change, but I really did change. All those things that I was so used to doing, I don't do anymore. I look back on this progress though, that year 2025, as like there's so much potential within ourselves. But we don't even realize it because we're so distracted with the life we're living, yet we're not even satisfied of what we're doing, and we wonder why we're in this position we're in at the moment. So it's all in the matter of you to do what you got to do to change and actually change your life. This is a small reflection towards myself, a message to you to just perhaps you got to lock in, perhaps you have to just go through it, because I know it wasn't easy. It really wasn't. I know it's going to be uncomfortable. I know it's going to be so tough, but I believe in you, man. So much can happen within this short amount of time. So it's what you do in that time that really does make a change for the better. So take this as you will, and I'll catch you in the next one.